Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Inner Life 101. Today, again, we are looking at another video of Nature Boy, aka Father Tahuti, aka the Christ, aka the Prophet Muhammad, aka Chief, Grand Master Chief, Master Chief. Who knows who he is now? So, and for those of you who do not know, Eligio Bishop is a self-proclaimed guru and a cult leader who has enticed and manipulated very, very young women to join him out of the country, out of America, and he takes them and often abuse them physically, mentally, every way that you can imagine, and sexually. Don't forget sexually. He does abuse them that way as well. And we just found out that from his brother that he was definitely incarcerated in a mental institution for more than a year. He has calmed down a lot because of it, and he's allowing people to speak their minds when it comes down to the negativities about him. Before, he would not allow it, he would not see it. If he saw you coming, with the question that might contain something close to it, he will block you. He would hang the phone up on you. He would do all kinds of things. So anyways, so here we are in this video where he is being questioned about some of his, one of his recent statements. So this is how that went.
Exactly. It's like I thought. Nothing. Anybody can prove me wrong. I'm not stupid. Like, her falling asleep on me was nothing that offended me. Because I understand that woman. That's why I told you. I have sex with my woman to teach them. I don't want my woman. Women are not intellectuals. Like, it's very rare you meet a woman that's an intellectual. You have to fuck a woman into understanding. You can't talk to a woman. She can grasp little things in little spurts, little time. But most women cannot grasp. It takes a special kind of woman to be an intellect and grasp certain things like that. So a woman, you have to make love to them. That's why I have sex with all the women, because it's like to teach them what I have for them. I have to have sex with them. I have to deliver them the message genetically. I can't deliver to them talking sometimes because their attention span, their right brain. Females are right brain, and you have to have sex with them to deliver the message. It just is what it is. But I'm ready for y'all to call in and prove anything that I'm saying is wrong.
So, as you can see, his statements are getting more and more inflammatory. He's always been saying strange things like this, but this is really over the deep end. This is seriously over the deep end. And to speak about a woman being right-brained and not being able to grasp intelligence. And number one, God made all creatures with intelligence. All creatures. I have seen birds that act more intelligent than he does. I've seen, the animals are intelligent. A crow goes and takes care of a baby kitten when it finds that the baby kitten is alone and don't have a mother, and the baby is a newborn. And so we've seen a crow, this has been on television, it's on the internet, where this crow goes and take care of the babies, where the crow would actually get worms out of the ground and feed it to the kitten, so and ended up walking the kitten to a house, and then the people adopted the kitten, and then after that the crow would come back and visit the kitten. So there's an intelligence. There's a man on YouTube who is showing his fish. He has a fish in a aquarium who loves to play with him. When they play, he sticks his hand in the water, and the fish just wants to play with his hand, just wants to keep coming up to him and playing with them. And then he says the fish likes to play with him more than he wants to eat. Okay, so there is intelligence in other creatures. So to say a woman has no intelligence, and the only way that she would get intelligence is to, you know, screw her to death. Number one, that'd make a man really, really tired, because women needs intelligence all the time. Of course, we all need intelligence all the time. So, a lot of people say that well, not a lot of people. It was just a statement where people were saying, he's doing it for a shock. He just want to get views and all this other stuff. And the thing is that where do these kind of, ideas come from? These are not normal ideas. This man said that somebody agreed with him that a man can take a woman's DNA from her within 3 months. And he said, well, it takes 9 months. That means he really wants to take her brain away, so he trying his best. So we found out that what he's doing is manipulating a woman to the point of no return. That is what his purpose is. So he's very, very manipulative, and he's very persuasive. He knows how to persuade these women to come. He's charming, and he gets them over there, and then he does his devilment with them, and then he has to keep them on the hook. He learns to keep them to the point of not even allowing them to be alone so that they can think on their own. Just take time to think. He will not give you that chance, and he's constantly there in their minds. So, and then he deprives them of sleep and different things like that. So, and the food is sparse, and with he created a diet for everyone, and everyone is Skeletors over there pretty much. So anyways, let's get back to the video and see what he has to say here.
You are delusional, sir. Oh, you don't want to come in the room. Okay. Just you saying I'm delusional is not good enough, huh? You have to come prove that without a shadow of a doubt. Anybody can prove that I'm delusional? Please call in. You're delusional, sir. Please call in. I would like to hear how I'm delusional. Make an ass out of yourself.
Now, what he don't realize is that, and I hate to use the defame language because I don't even want. He's making an ASS out of himself because he can't prove that what he just said. He can't prove that women are not intelligent, that they have to be screwed by a man in order to get intelligence, and they can only get a little, bits and pieces of intelligence every now and then. They can grasp it. So, anyways, let's see what happens after that. But he has to prove that too, and he never proves any of this stuff he's saying, like the DNA. They're taking away a woman's DNA, no doubt sexually, and by pouring information into her brain, the information he wants into her brain to make her start thinking like him. That's what he means.
Yeah, because No, I'm not going to hang up as long as you're not disrespectful. I keep telling you that. I proved that. I proved that I'm not going to hang up on you as long as you're not disrespectful. Point blank, period. If you come intellectually, if you come respectful, me and you going to have a good conversation. I ain't got nothing else to say. Peace, goddess.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Knowledge. I was on my other page. This is my private page.
Okay. Knowledge, where you calling from?
Yeah. I'm calling from Detroit.
Okay.
Detroit, Michigan. So yeah,
Go somewhere quiet?
yeah, hold on. Okay, can you hear me better?
Yeah. I'm listening.
Okay. So the reason why I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I am not trained in mental health, so I'm not even gonna, act like I am. But I'm just speaking from experience. You said that. Would you admit that? I'm sorry. Would you admit that you run a cult, or would you admit that carbonation is a cult?
It's depending on what your definition of a cult is.
A cult is a culture, like you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In that sense, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I grew up in a cult. Yeah.
What culture did you grow up in?
I grew up Mormon.
A Mormon.
Yeah, I was a Mormon.
Well, that's a cult. That's a different kind of cult.
Well, actually, like there's like two sects of the Mormon cult, of the Mormon church. You have the regular Mormon church, and then you have the FLDS group. The FLDS group is what I would say is more of like a real cult, and that's actually a cult that practices polygamy. So that's but the reason why I say.
Let me ask you this. Is the United States of America a cult?
Yes, absolutely. Can I ask you a question? Do you believe that Panama is a cult? That culture there?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you why I think.
Am I a part of it?
Do you shop in their stores? Do you talk to the locals? You don't shop at them? Okay, well, do you swim in the springs and you enjoy the culture there, the nature?
Wait, me swimming in the stream is enjoying culture there?
Yeah, because the land there, the land.
Okay, let me say this.
Okay, we're going totally off. I got a 2-year-old, so it's at her bedtime. But we're going off topic. I didn't call in to debate whether you were a cult or not. That was just a question that I had. But the reason why I wanted to call in is because I think that you are delusional. And I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, listen. My culture is nature.
Okay.
My culture is divine knowledge of self.
Okay.
Okay. That's my code. I just want you to understand that.
Okay, I'm glad you answered that. But but basically, no, I called in because I honestly do believe that you are delusional and you might be going through like a manic state. Like you just said, you barely sleep. And like, don't get me wrong, I understand that, sometimes as far as like.
Hold on. I sleep good every night, yo. Let me just say that off the break. Let me just let you know that.
But what did you just say though? You just said that.
No. I said
you rest.
Bro, I'm telling you that I'm chilling all day, every day. I live a very peaceful life. I'm relaxed. Listen to what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
I'm sleep. When I sleep, I go to sleep. Every night.
Okay.
I sleep for real. Like, I sleep. What I'm telling you is when I'm in my knowledge or when I'm in my bag, what I'm saying is that I can be studying my knowledge without sleep.
Okay.
I can be in meditation without sleep for days.
Okay. So, no, like I've been trying to say, I think that you are, and again, like I said, this is just my opinion, but I feel like you have hundreds of videos that could back up, you know what I'm saying? I do think that you are delusional in the sense that you say, for instance, I'll give you a couple of examples.
First, I'll say that he just proved her what she was saying is that when he said that when he's studying his knowledge or something, he don't sleep for days. You know, the average normal person does not stay awake for days. Really, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're doing, you just don't do that. You have to be on, like Umi, when she had to be in another country and she was traveling, trying to get out of that country, and it was always constant activity, so she couldn't sleep. So that's the only way a normal person does not sleep. I mean, even if you're on the internet searching and doing all that stuff, you still end up going to sleep, especially when you're reading and stuff. You end up falling asleep. Okay, let's hear her.
You say you want to, the purpose of carbonation is to nation build. We haven't seen that. And, carbonation how long have y'all been a thing? For about 3 years now? We haven't seen nation building.
Okay, so listen.
Another reason. Wait, let me finish. Let me say what I gotta say, and I will not talk. I will let you say what you gotta say. Let me finish, okay?
I want you to talk, but please quiet out your background. That's just like getting in the way of your words.
I'll turn it down. So, as far as the nation building aspect goes, I think that you were delusional in that sense. I also think that you are delusional because.
What is a nation?
I'll come back to it, but let me just finish saying why some of the things that I see that are delusional.
Wait, can we address one thing at a time? Can we organize and address one thing at a time?
I mean, we can, whatever.
I mean, I think that it's better that way. If we address one thing at a time, and you say 5 things out, and I have to address 5.
Okay, that's fine. What were you saying?
Number one,
question?
What is a nation to you?
A nation, it doesn't matter what a nation is to me.
Obviously, it does.
America.
You said that I'm not nation building. So therefore, you have to have a definition in your mind of what nation building is. What is a nation?
Well, I mean, we can. I don't want to stay stuck on that aspect because we will totally go left field. I think, in my opinion, as far as nation building goes, I feel like that's a very poverty mentality to hold, that you have to rebuild a nation when you already have one. You know what I'm saying? Now, I understand that sometimes people might think it's better to build from the ground up, but it's very irresponsible for you to want to lead a new nation when you have a nation that you could work with and that you could transform.
Okay,
not only is it irresponsible, it's lazy.
Wait, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
This nation that you're talking about that I already had
I'm not talking about my idea of a nation. I'm talking about your idea of a nation.
Okay, now I'm a little bit confused because I'm trying to understand what is your definition of a nation when you said we already have one. Okay, what is the nation? Are you talking about the one that we already have called the United States of America?
Well, okay. Well, when I say nation, I'm talking about it in the sense that you are talking about it. Like when you say nation, you mean the black African American people rebuilding their nation. That's basically what you say. You are the messiah of the African American people, and instead of cultivating our nation here in the Americas, well, you technically are still in the Americas because you're in Panama, but instead of building your nation in America, you think it would be best to move to the tropics to build a nation. What I'm saying is that logistically is ridiculous. Like, that could not work. Second of all, if somehow we were able to all just pick up and move to the tropics. I think that's still very that's not that's very, like I said, irresponsible, because what about the people of the land that you are
Wait, let me ask
building
you a
this new
question.
nation in?
So let me ask you a question. When Marcus Garvey was getting us on a boat,
Marcus Garvey was a coon. Go ahead. Marcus Garvey was a coon. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You're in a
go ahead,
boat.
I'm sorry.
The United States of
Okay, go ahead.
America was a cult.
No, I didn't say cult. I didn't say cult. I said Marcus Garvey was a coon.
A coon?
Yes.
Okay.
As in he was paid by the powers that be of that time to promote that idea that all black people should go back to Africa.
I'm just using it as an example, though. I'm using it as an example. So let's take Marcus Garvey out.
Okay.
So if I said, let's use Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who was saying that black people need to come together and leave the states and go back to Africa. Africa is obviously the tropics, where black people belong. Our skin complexion belongs in the tropics.
Right.
This is the idea is that we go back to our natural environment, where we get enough sunlight that is sufficient for our health. Maybe you don't care about sunlight. We don't care about that, right?
Okay, your point. What's your point? I don't get the point.
My point is that we should live in a natural environment.
Okay, what does that have to do with why I think you're delusional?
Because you said I'm delusional because I'm saying that we should go to the tropics. What I'm saying
I think that idea is delusional. I do.
Okay, so listen to what I'm saying. How is our health, how is living in an environment that is most healthy for us physically delusional? All black people that have melanin require more sunlight. The reason why we're dark skinned is because our natural environment is closer to the equator. Your dark pigment is not supposed to be in the northern region. How is that delusional, Bob?
The reason why I think that is delusional is because all black people cannot live in the tropics. That's just not, because first of all black people don't.
From. That's the reason why our skin is black. Do you know that our skin is black? Do you know that our skin is black because we have a natural environment? It's like every other animal on this planet.
But be that as it may, I understand what you're saying completely. I understand, because if it was up to me, I would move to the tropics right now. If it was up to me.
How am I delusional if I say that dark pigmented people belong in a tropical environment due to the lack of vitamin D they're not getting?
I think that's delusional because like I said, all black people do not want to live in the tropics. That's
okay.
You can't.
So are you saying that's very? Are you saying that all black people do not want to live in the tropics, or are you basically saying that all black people don't want their best health? They don't want to be healthy. Which one?
Well, first of all, you can live in the tropics and as a black person and not be healthy. You can live in the tropics, and if your diet isn't sufficient, you won't be able to convert vitamin D the way you need to.
And plenty people are. I'm not saying that's not true. What I'm saying is it delusional? Is it delusional to say that it's healthier for melanated people to be in a tropical environment rather than the northern hemisphere? Or is that a fact?
No, it's delusional. Let me explain why again. The reason why I say that it is delusional is for two reasons. A, because every black person does not want to live in the tropics. And B, just because you are in the tropics does not mean that it is the best environment for you. And the reason why I say that it is not the best environment, your environment, you can't just show up in nature and go, this is my environment. Your environment is what you cultivate. Your environment is your diet. Like, what are you eating? When your diet help you convert vitamin D the way that you need to.
Well,
I think
get to that. I didn't get to that part. I didn't get to the diet. I didn't get to.
No. We weren't going into diet. I was answering your question. I wasn't talking about diet. I was telling you why I think it's delusional.
Okay, so you told me 2 points. What I'm saying to you is this: number one, every black person should want to live closer to the sun to get efficient amount of sunlight for their own health, mental and physical.
Every black person should want to.
Okay, so everybody, every melanated person, I'm gonna say this because I'm addressing your first point. Your first point, I'm addressing it. Every melanated person should want, whether they want it or not, they should want premium health. They should want the maximum amount of sunlight. Number two, I don't think that I'm delusional because I feel that, because I know science.
Well, nobody thinks they're delusional.
I don't think that I'm delusional. I don't think that I'm delusional because I have science to back up that we are vitamin deficient. And a lot of our diseases that we have in the Northern Hemisphere is coming from the fact that we're out of the tropical environment. That's just one. I'm not saying that that's all. Now, to answer the second one, point blank simple, I don't think I'm delusional because I'm saying the environment.
Nobody thinks they're delusional.
I'm talking about the environment is food. I think in your environment, in your natural environment, you will find your food. I think that we live closer to the sun.
Not true.
Because we are dark pigmented people. The reason why we're dark pigmented is because we built a resistance to the sun epigenetically. So we belong in an environment where there's a lot of sunlight.
Yeah, that's true. Our ancestors, us individually, that's not the case. Our pigment is just an heirloom that we got from our ancestors. But if you have a black person, regardless of your own opinions and your own knowledge, there are people who have lives that they've cultivated. If they don't want to move to the tropics, they don't want to eat vegan, they don't want to do the things that you think is best for them.
She wasn't going. She couldn't think like that. She couldn't even allow him to even come in and try to change anything. He wanted to come in and say, well, why wouldn't you? Are you saying that black people don't want to be healthy and have the optimal health and all that? She's like, that doesn't even make sense. That basically he wanted to get her down to these little small points and play games with these little bitty small points instead of dealing with the whole issue of him being delusional. So he's saying, oh, well, are you saying that it is delusional to think that people will want to be healthy, that black people will want to be healthy? Do you think that they don't need to have their melanin? Do you think it's delusional to know that people, are getting sick because they're not, in the sun? No, that's not delusional. What's delusional is you making statements like, and she said you have hundreds of videos to prove what she's saying, and you just said that women are not intelligent when God, supposedly your creator and supposedly who you are, you say you're God and this king for this new nation, God would have told you that God only created God only created intelligent beings. Period. Period. No matter what you feel about women, and if you look into nature, that's his problem. He loves looking into nature for things, but he don't want to look into the natures when it comes down to male and female. What the female is doing in the nature, but God made females in nature have intelligent instincts and just intelligent, and she don't have to be what he said. She don't have to be sexed in order to get this intelligence. It is already inherited. It is already embedded in the human being and in every creature in the nation. I mean, in the world. Anyways, so this just kind of put a nail in the coffin of this man. He looks delusional. She made it not only she's trying to explain it to him, but he actually looks delusional. Look at his eyes in the dark and how he's making his facial expressions, and he's trying very hard to be intelligent. He wants to look intelligent and say the most intelligent thing, but she wasn't allowing him to go into his nonsense. As simple as that. So he couldn't intelligently get out of the conversation because and he couldn't intelligently show that he's not delusional. He couldn't do it. So anyways, kudos for that young lady. It looked like it said her Instagram was the real black, I think the real black beauty or something. I couldn't see it very well, but anyway, she wasn't being a doctor. She was being down to earth and letting him know that you are delusional and you have been and you always probably will be unless you get back on your medication. Simple as that. Anyways, thank you all for joining the channel and watching the video. Like this video for me and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next video. Peace and blessings.